I really do the did it, ain't pretend, dog. Why you out here swearing that we friends, dog? Had my back against the wall, that's why I'm a ball. Met a bad, yeah. Let her hold my cash, yeah. Don't you have a man, girl?
Yay! So I'm all changed for spin, just wearing this like super old crop top and these like shiny pants from Beyond Yoga. Got them at Nordstrom Rack. Going to spin. I don't do a ton of cardio, maybe like twice a week I'll do it. I'll do like Stairmaster or a little run around the neighborhood with like some HIIT training or spin. I love spin classes when I can find one that works on ClassPass. So I'm going to this little studio called Ride Oakland. Hope you guys don't mind me posting more like fitness related stuff. I love it. It's honestly just as much of a passion as skincare for me. I got a question recently asking like what my fitness journey was, what resources I look into, and where I get my knowledge about health and wellness, that kind of stuff. So my fitness journey, I think, really started in high school. I'd always played sports, always been super active, and like that kid who's always at soccer camp, basketball camp. Grew up like loving basketball, and basketball was like always my thing. And then in soccer, I loved soccer, but it was kind of second to basketball. Senior year, I ended up like not making the varsity basketball team. I'd been on JV and yeah, didn't make the team, didn't make varsity soccer either, which is fine. I don't think I was meant to play like college sports. I was like okay / good, but not like the greatest. So senior year in high school, I stopped playing soccer and basketball, and I had always had hyperthyroidism, which when you have that, your metabolism is super fast. You tend to have a faster heartbeat. A lot of times people are, and the media or people look at them and think they're unhealthy or they're not eating, but really it just has to do with your thyroid. So that in combination with doing all those sports, I was super thin. It was very hard for me to gain weight. And until we figured out the thyroid, this is actually getting kind of deep, like my parents and doctors were super concerned because I couldn't put on weight. They put me on these like shakes. They sent me to a therapist to talk about like possibly having an eating disorder when I was really just a young kid who like couldn't gain weight. And I guess they hadn't tested the thyroid, so they like kind of assumed I had an eating disorder, which I didn't even know what that was at all. And at that time, my hyperthyroid switched to hypothyroid. So my metabolism really slowed down and I was eating the same amount, exercising less, and having this issue with my thyroid. So I think that was the first time I ever thought about like doing activity as a way to like lose weight or get fit, whereas before it was just like fun running around playing soccer because I loved it. So that was senior year in high school, was the first time I went to the gym. And I remember just like getting on the elliptical, you know, like we all did, like not really knowing much about fitness. And that was like the first thing I did for a long time, just the elliptical. Like I was way too intimidated by machines, didn't really understand weights, just didn't know what I was doing. As college came around, I was still struggling with my thyroid. So I was starting to think about like eating healthier. I started like eating more protein, trying to eat more vegetables, not having as much sugar. But I didn't think about like eating the way I do now. It wasn't until I saw a naturopath of last year when I was really having some issues with my health. I do have something called Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, and it can kind of suppress your immune system. So I was really struggling with how to like maintain my wellness and wanting to do everything in my power to be the healthiest I can be. So I started seeing this naturopath. I was having some stomach issues. In high school, I'd had like colonoscopies, which is like kind of an invasive procedure. A lot of your parents have probably had those, but kids don't normally have them. I had it because I had all these crazy stomach issues. I would wake up and throw up, sick all the time. So I think when I was like getting at the end of my mid-20s, I realized it was something I had to take super seriously. So I started seeing the naturopath. She put me on a low FODMAP diet, which is just intended to reduce inflammation in the body and not trigger it. So a lot of random no-nos like tomatoes, onions, garlic, broccoli, cabbage, a lot of things that are hard on the digestive system. So I no longer see the naturopath, and I went through about a 3-week period where I did that low FODMAP diet, and I found it really helped. Also no gluten, not a lot of refined sugar. It was a super strict diet. So I'm not on that anymore. I saw the benefits and like the potential for how I can feel. Unfortunately, it's too restrictive of a diet for me to maintain long term. Now I really just eat in a way that's sustainable. So for me, that tends to be like high fat, low sugar, low carb, high protein. I never really have simple carbs. To me, there's just too many other good options that are complex carbs, like sweet potatoes, chickpea pasta, lentil pasta, so many good things. And as far as resources, the first person I kind of looked to for nutrition was a nutritionist called Be Well by Kelly. She kind of subscribes to the same high fat, low carb, low sugar kind of plan. She has a podcast. I will link it in this description. So I love her. I think that is a great resource to kind of get started and get informed on what nutrients your body really needs to support itself, and kind of understand more the ones that you don't need. The last thing I'll say is the first thing I started doing to support this new kind of lifestyle was smoothies. I'm super passionate about smoothies. I think it's a great way to start your day, and the ones I make aren't typically like super fruit based. I tend to rely a lot on ice and vegetables, as well as a protein, a little bit of fat from like a coconut milk or something like that, and a little bit of sugar, like maybe like half of a banana or some berries, which are low glycemic. So just little tweaks you can make to really get your day started on the right foot, and that's why I love smoothies. But yeah, I'm gonna be late for spin, so sorry for the rant. Let's go.
So we can also lengthen you out, but I don't think you do.
Slide on you with the top down. Used to walk past, but they stop now. Shawty think I'm hot now. Too deep in it, now I can't stop now. I got some better things I had to do. But better things, I'm talking you. Mommy, where you at? I need your latitude. You know I be posted on my avenue. Quick trip off the
Standing in the dark, half in love with all I need, but it's not enough.
Sorry.
Driving down Rodeo. Don't look back cause I'm gone. I've been cashing out all day, yo.
Hi guys. Okay, I'm gonna talk while I foam roll. Sorry for this angle. This is how I foam roll, by the way. Put it underneath one leg and put the other one out to the side so you get more pressure than if both legs are just parallel on it. So, interesting morning. Went to my cycling class. As I'm about to walk in, I got a call from one of my vendors. So if you guys don't know, I co-manage an apartment building. Real estate is my other, it's really like, I guess a little bit more full-time than my esthetician job that I do 3 to 4 days a week. So we have these new laundry machines. You guys probably don't care. But we're like switching everything to be smartphone operated. So we have these whole new machines, whole new laundry room. And I knew they were coming today, but they ended up calling me kind of last minute and saying they were coming a couple hours like earlier than expected. So I figured I could go to 20 minutes of the spin class. So that's what I did. And the reason I'm working out again is because I only did 20 minutes and I was really excited to do like a more full-on workout today. I tend to do like 2 big workouts during the week that really push myself, and the other days I focus on light resistance. So I came back to the complex. I was waiting for about 40 minutes, and you know how they give you like kind of a window. I just assumed they were outside of the window, but I gave them a call and they let me know they had an accident. So 2 out of 3 of our like custom machines that took 4 weeks to make are damaged and unusable. So that means my 31 tenants are going to be without laundry for another like month, which is super inconvenient and just not a good look for me either. So anyways, yeah, so then when I called them, they let me know that they would probably be here in like 2 hours with the one machine. So I figured I would squeeze in like a little light workout just so I felt accomplished. I don't really feel that accomplished, I think because the workouts were like interrupted and I was stressed in the spin class to get back on time, and then they weren't even here and they didn't even call me, so kind of a, I don't know, inconvenience, but that is life. That's life. So happy Monday. So that's why I'm doing 2 workouts. I do a lot of my workouts at home. There's so many good like quick 20-minute workouts on YouTube. So even if you're somebody who gets home at like 8 o'clock, no excuse not to do it in your living room or do it in the morning. I promise it is worth it. I'm obsessed with Fit with Cambry, but I'm loving her 20-minute like booty workout. I'm really focused on building the booty since I'm, I don't know, naturally kind of like not curvy, and something I'm trying to work on, building a booty, building some muscle. If I do a lot of cardio, I can just kind of get like just skinny and look, I don't know, not have any curves really. So I try to focus on more like resistance workouts instead of cardio. The biggest things I can suggest for your at-home workouts are resistance bands. So this is the one I've used for about a year. I love it. This is my upgrade. They are the 4-core fitness bands. They come in a little pack of 3. This is the lightest one. And I like these because they don't slip, they don't slide. Just, it's definitely an upgrade from these, but actually like using both of them together sometimes. So I'd really highly suggest some little resistance bands to amp up your workouts. That way you can really do a full-on workout in the comfort of your home. And yeah, these are just fantastic. I also have some little 5-pound weights. I have some ankle weights. So those kind of 3 little things together, I can just think of like a super good workout, even improvise. A lot of times I'll put on like a YouTube workout and just even do my own thing if I'm like sore in certain places. And sometimes I'm just like rebellious and don't want to do exactly what they're telling me to do. So sometimes I'll do the majority of it, or I just really like Cambry's like music and her voice, and it feels like I have like a friend working out with me rather than like a formal YouTube video. So sometimes I'll put that on and kind of improvise. Sometimes I'll do exactly what she does. ClassPass also has some really great videos. I'm obsessed with a lot of the bar classes. I'm really working on stretching a lot more. That's going to be part of my New Year's resolution, but no reason not to start early. I am just going for a super, like, I'm going for good posture in 2019, looking super long, lengthened, stretched, Stretching is so amazing after you, it's so important because after you work out, if you're not lengthening those muscles, they can get really tight. And I just think people don't focus enough on stretching. It's kind of like a secondary part to the workout, but it's very necessary, and I'm all about that, and foam rolling. So yeah, this is just a little preview of like what my home workouts entail, some of my moves if you guys want to copy. If anyone would want me to do like a full workout, I could definitely do that for you guys if there's enough interest. But yeah, I'm gonna shower and I'll see you guys in a little. And by the way, this is my like sweatband. I got the idea from Cambry, and there's not really anything on it, but this was just such a short workout. Normally when I pull it off, I'm like dripping sweat, but I love it because it does kind of help to focus on sweating that area. It also does help with your posture. So I don't know, a lot of people say they like don't do anything, but I like it. I feel like I've kind of like seen more definition in my abs after wearing it. So I don't know. I like it. About to make a smoothie. I just found this online. I was like craving it, so I looked it up and found one from Urban Remedy. I'm gonna make this low glycemic by doing a very little amount of banana. You just need it to give you that kind of ice cream texture. And I am gonna do a date for sweetness. You could skip the date and do like liquid stevia or something if you really want to keep it super, super low sugar. I'm feeling fun today, so going for the date. So I'm gonna do like 1.5 bunches of the mint, some spinach, quarter of banana, some vanilla extract, alcohol free, 1 date. This is my protein powder. It's just a vanilla vegan protein powder, and I'm going for this coconut almond milk. You also want to add probably about a cup of ice just to give it that really kind of ice cream like milkshake like texture. I think ice is super key, and you don't want to pour in a ton of liquid. If you need to add more, you can add it towards the end. So good. Tastes like literally a dessert. I hope you guys make this. If you do, tag me or DM me or something. Let me know. If I had cacao nibs, this would have been like an epic mint chocolate milkshake. It would have been so good. Sorry about this pimple. It is not ready to be extracted, and I'm actually getting a facial at work tomorrow, and I'm getting it's called a laser genesis treatment. Getting that from one of our nurses. I think I'm going to vlog as much of it as I can, or at least just kind of like the before and after to show you guys, because I know some of you guys are interested in medical aesthetics. But so good. Sometimes people ask me why I don't eat ice cream or pizza, and I know that sounds crazy to most people, but it's because there's literally a healthy dupe for anything you can think of, and I have way more fun like thinking of those kind of recipes, and I think it just tastes better, and I know I'll feel better after. So, and after you kind of detox, you just don't crave that stuff anymore. I don't crave pizza at all, which like 5 years ago that would have sounded insane, but if I could make like an almond crust or cauliflower pizza, why wouldn't I? Like, I'll get the same fix, so I don't need like mint chocolate chip ice cream because I know I can make this kind of smoothie. I'll make my own chocolate in my kitchen with cacao, coconut oil, stevia, and freeze it. I'll have my chocolate. If I wanted fries, usually I'll just get like sweet potato fries. That way it's like a complex carb and I never feel guilty about it. It tastes just as good, if not better. So yeah, I gotta go check in with these laundry people. I think they might be here soon. So this is our new laundry room, new floor, new paint, new plumbing, new lighting, and we're just waiting on those machines. Enjoying my smoothie. This is my first meal of the day, and it is 1 o'clock. I think I've mentioned before I do intermittent fasting, so I usually stop eating by 8 and have my first meal around, it can be anywhere from 11:30 to 1. 12 is like my perfect point, but if you're starving, have some food if you're doing intermittent fasting. I think just the one thing about it is I think if you have had like a history with an eating disorder or some kind of, you struggle with food, I think intermittent fasting could be possibly triggering. So I don't think it's for everyone. Also, people who have like low blood sugar. I have a friend who like faints if she doesn't eat in the morning. So I think you just have to be careful with trends. I love that. I love it. I think it really does work well for me. It improves my focus and really helps with my digestion. I need to stop eating even a little bit earlier because I just have stomach aches. When I eat late, I always wake up with a stomach ache, and even so now, if I have something around 8, I wake up with a stomach ache. So I'm trying to stop eating so late at night. And yeah, I think smoothies are a great kind of way to start your day because you can get in your vegetables, but you can just make it so yummy. So you can get in your spinach, your mint, your kale, your spirulina, whatever you want to do. And my one tip with smoothies is just to not overload it with fruit, which I think can be the tendency. Even like acai bowls, which are super popular and healthy, they just tend to have a lot of sugar. So if you're going out for an acai bowl or a smoothie, one thing I like to do that I learned from Fit with Cambry actually is ask for like half of the banana or eliminate some of the other fruits. If it's like a pineapple, mango, strawberry, banana smoothie with pineapple, I don't know. Just eliminate that and really just try to focus on the greens and have fruit in there just to add a little flavor or add a little bit of sweetness, but not to make it the base of the smoothie. The problem is when you do a ton of sugar, especially without adding in a fat or a protein, you just burn through that sugar super fast and your body tends to crash. So I think keeping it high fiber, high fat, high in greens and phytonutrients is really the way to go. Get your good fats in from like an almond butter or a coconut milk or a peanut butter. Get your fiber in from something like flaxseed or psyllium husk. And then for protein, I like a vegan protein powder. I used to do whey protein when I first started like my fitness journey, and whey I think is really great for building muscle, but for me I'm dairy free, so it upsets my stomach. I found it made me really bloated, and for me, since I struggle with acne, struggling with cystic acne, the first thing to cut out is dairy, and it can be in sneaky things like a whey protein powder. So I'm having lunch at my desk. I was basically just trying to use what is left in my fridge. So I had some eggs. I did a little scramble with chard, which is a really great dark green leafy vegetable. And I have some turkey for protein, a little bit of cooked pepper, and egg, and a little bit of dairy-free cheese. Super easy. Okay, so this is dinner. I am going to have a little cucumber, celery, tomato salad. It has some sesame, olive oil, salt, and lemon. If I had avocado, it would be ideal, but it's okay. And then for my main dish, I have these black beans, put a little bit of red pepper on top, and I have some little shrimp here that I just seared in the pan, a little bit of dairy-free cheese, and I made a ton of beans. I have this kind of just like melting together. I'm gonna use that for lunch. I think beans are something great to have like a big batch of. That way you can have like your fresh veggies, whatever you want to put with it. You can have I always have like frozen shrimp and salmon in the freezer, and that way I can just add it to something like this for a really quick, easy dinner. And yeah, I'm probably gonna add a little salsa, and that'll be dinner. This is it. This is dinner. Just put a little salsa on top. You could even have some corn tortillas and make it a little taco situation. This is a lot of food, probably too much. I might save some for lunch. But yeah, one other thing I wanted to mention is I really don't snack a ton. And after I saw my naturopath, she told me it would be more beneficial to focus on 3 like nutrient dense meals, since I do have kind of like digestive issues sometimes, and that way my body like knows when it's processing food, it knows when it's processing stored fat, but it's not getting like constantly interrupted by a ton of snacks and a bunch of different combinations of food, which can be upsetting. So I know it was like a big trend to eat a lot of snacks throughout the day for a little while, but yeah, now that I'm leaning towards more intermittent fasting and this kind of eating, I do feel a lot better. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comment down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I love doing these videos, honestly, so fun for me. But yeah, keep an eye out for more vlogmas videos from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
When I tell you, have love.